Hey, what's up, everybody? This is just going to be a super budget Smiter guide for Ubers, because most of the guides I found online weren't really that budget, and they all had expensive items like Raven Frost and Drax and stuff on them, and Dwarves. So, what we're going to do is first let's just look at the stats. You're going to put enough strength in so that you can use all your gear. For your dexterity, you just want to make sure that when Holy Shield's active, that your block chance is 75%. And then the rest of your points are going to go into vitality to get some extra health. Now this build, the gear is garbage, so I'm gonna assume that you have a barbarian friend to come in and BO you for this. So I'm on single player right now, and I just have a charm that's giving me 30 battle command, battle orders, and 30 shout. That's the same idea as a barbarian coming in and doing it for you. For the weapons, I'm going to be using black on my main hand. Then on my offhand, I'm going to have a life tap wand. It's important that you have the highest level life tap wand possible, because level 5 life tap is going to last longer than level 1 life tap, and so you don't have to life tap as often, which is really important when you're actually having to manually do it. For the gloves, I just have some blood gloves. The important stat here is crushing blow. You can get between 5 and 10%. 8% is kind of a medium roll. 10% would be a lot better here. For the rings, the important thing from these rings is just that I'm getting resist from them. Since I don't have Raven Frost for the cannot be frozen, next best thing I can get from my rings is probably just resistances. And this is pretty much a 9-all res ring. The cold resist is kind of irrelevant because we have thawing potions. The other ring is pretty much an 11-all resist ring. The fire resist is okay. And then, the extra mana is nice. The belt is just a blood belt. The important stat here is 8% chance of open wounds. You can get between 5 and 10%, I think, right? So 10% would be a lot better here, because this is my only item giving open wounds, and you need the open wounds to make sure that the Ubers aren't just healing right back to full. For the boots, I have Goblin Toe, and that's just for the 25% chance of crushing blow. It's the only stat we care about on this item. For the amulet, I'm using a 30 all resist, 8 to dex amulet. And then for the helmet, I have an Aratha's crown, and that just has some decent lightning and fire resist. And then I put an Ith rune in it for the 15% damage going to mana. That's going to help a lot with the mana burn, especially when we fight Baal. It's still a real pain when we fight Baal, but this helps. For the shields, the way it works is we have to have 4 shields. Since we don't have Raven Frost, we have to have 2 Rhymes, and then we have to have 2 P Diamond shields for when we fight Mephisto. Now, since this is supposed to be super budget, these are just 30 all resist bases, and it's a normal shield, right? It's a crown shield. I went with the crown shield because they have a higher base block chance. But of course, this might damage with Holy Shield 61 to 72, which is complete trash. These are not good shields by any means. But that's the whole point of this build, right? It's not really about your smite damage, it's just about the crushing blow and then eventually killing them. Once again, they were all 30 base res. So this is two open socket crown shields with 30 base resistance. And I mean, I didn't double check the stats. You might not even need that. And then or the base resist. And then the same with these P Diamond shields. The base resist is more important on these for when you fight Mephisto. Last items are we have a teleport staff, which if you're on hardcore, you're going to want to get a teleport amulet, even though they're way harder to get than teleport staff, because you can't just go and shop a teleport amulet in 2 minutes like you can a staff. And then for the chest pieces, I have 3 pieces. Treachery, Fade, increase attack speed. It's obvious why that's good. Smoke, this is just for fighting Mephisto. And then Venom Ward, this is just for fighting Lilith. Next, let's go into the skills. Now, keep in mind, I have no mana, so mana burn's a real problem for me. I put 20 in Smite, 20 in Holy Shield, 20 in Fanaticism, then 20 in Resist Lightning for that plus 10 max lightning resist. I have 1 in Vigor because I love Vigor, but my favorite ability. And I put 6 in Meditation because, like I said, I have big mana problems. I didn't put him in Resist Fire for the max fire resist because fire damage just doesn't really seem like a big deal in all this. I don't know. It could. I mean, I've ran Ubers a bunch on here, and I just haven't had any issues with fire resist. But meditation, that mana regen, it's more just because I have no mana. If I had proper gear and I had 400 mana or something, probably wouldn't really waste points on meditation. Just put them in a fire resist. but I don't, so meditation is. When you're looking at your resist, here's what's important when you fight Mephisto, right? When you have your smoke armor on, you're mousing over these, you need to consider that you're going to lose 100 resist from the difficulty penalty, and then you're going to lose 125 from Mephisto's conviction. So that's 225 total. And because of our skills in the lightning resist aura, our max lightning resist is 85%. So what that means is we need to have plus 310% lightning resist. And then everything else has to be plus 300. And that'll make sure that that's all 75 and that this is 85. So when I put on my perfect diamond shields, my lightning resist, it goes to 272. So it's not at 310, but I'm getting 60 from the fade proc, right? So that would take me to like 332 or something. So that would get me above 310 for lightning, so I'd be good on lightning. And then that would get my poison to 296, which is almost 300. It's 4 points off, but poison doesn't matter because we can pre-antidote and we can get up there. So poison's going to be fine. The cold resist, this would get me to 316 cold resist or something, so I would be above 300, so I'd be good. And the fire resist, that would get me over 300. It would get me to 340, so I'd be good on that. Let's go ahead and open up these portals. Before I do anything, I like to just go ahead and pre-antidote and pre-thaw. Now you get 30 seconds of the buff, right? Each time you use one of these. So if I have 12 slots that I'm using, that's 360 seconds. That's about 6 minutes each time I do it. So just to be safe, I'll do them like 5 times, right? And that'll be like 30 minutes. I'll do like 5 times of each. I'll do the same thing with the thawing. Alright, and I always like to do Duriel first because he's the easiest. So I'm going to pop on Treachery, and I'm going to put on my Rhyme Shields so I don't get frozen from him. And make sure Life Tap is keybound. Get Holy Shield up. And once we go in here, I'm going to BO. Right, and at the top left, you can see that 0. I have a stopwatch program where when I press a key, it starts a timer, and that helps me keep track of how long my life tap is. My life tap lasts 25 seconds, and the timer should. What I'll do is get the life tap up, I hit my keybind to restart the timer, and to start whacking him. He actually hit me really hard that first swing, but looks like we're good now. Also, when you're doing this, just make sure you're paying attention and that the curse is still reapplied. Because sometimes, I swear, sometimes it feels like you cast it right on them. It just doesn't even get reapplied. I'm not really sure what's up with that. I'm going to have to just life tap again to be safe. Alright. Got him. And next we're going to do Izual. Important to pay attention if Fade procs when you're fighting Izual and when you're fighting Duriel, just so that you won't have to apply it whenever you go to fight Lilith.
Can I help you?
And I'm going to repair my teleport staff there. And I also just going to take the Venom Ward out so I have some room here. I just realized I already had the mass discovered for Lilith and Izual, so I'm just going to reload real quick and cut back to here without the maps loaded to show you how you teleport through here. Alright, so now we're back in here, and our resistances are actually a bit scuffed with Treachery on, but just in case it doesn't proc, I'm just going to put Smoke on and run through here like this. Keep in mind, we're just going to go the way that the bridge was facing. Kind of a sketchy teleport spot. okay, we see Izual. Oh, nice, teleported to us. Let's try to get him away from all this crap. And what we're going to do in here is, back in town, we're going to swap back to Light Tap and our Rhyme.
Good afternoon.
And for some reason you have to rebind it sometimes. Alright, so we're going to go in here and we're going to kill Izual now. Sometimes I just like to check my stat sheet and see if, I don't know, just make sure all my resistances look good or anything in case I get hit with a lower resist. Alright, nice. Didn't even have to relight tap. For the last part, and one of the harder of the mini Ubers, I think she's the hardest mini Uber for sure, is going to be Lilith. So before you do Lilith, what I like to do actually is get a Fade proc. It's for the physical damage reduction. And I'll set a timer on my phone usually when I do this. So go over here and just going to watch when the color of your resistances, if they're maxed out, when they change, that means you got a Fade proc. Or you can just look at your stats and see when the physical damage reduction pops up. Alright, and procced. Now we can go over to Lilith. Now I usually like set a timer on my phone or something for about 4 minutes, 20 seconds to keep track of that proc. Now, of course, I would use an amulet if I was playing on hardcore or something. I wouldn't just be teleporting with a staff. And on Lilith, I like to go left, right? So if this is straight, southeast is straight, left is northeast from this point. And I just like to hug the left and try to get to her that way. Alright, and yep, that pretty easy. Just gonna try and safe teleport. Yeah, just trying to get back to town so I can swap back on my wand. And also, yeah, I'm gonna repair that. My fighter. Make sure I have both my rhymes on. Right. Now ready to fighter. Alright, there we go. And we beat Lilith, and we only had to use one rejuve potion, so got pretty lucky there. Sometimes if she has the witches around her and they're casting amp, you'll just have to pull her away from the witches or somehow separate them because she can probably almost one-shot you, at least in this kind of gear. So next we're going to want to do Uber Tristram. And we won't need our teleport staff for that, so I'm just going to put that in the stash. and then get these 3 organs, and won't need Venom Ward. Get our Treachery back out. I like to make the portal over by Mala. And if I was playing on Battle.net or something, I would probably rejoin the game to get rid of my Fade buff, so that I can reapply Fade for when I fight Mephisto. But I'm just going to wait here, and then I'll cut the video to when Fade wears off. Alright, so the Fade wore off, I got some more potions, and we're going to go in there and proc Fade. And before we even do that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put on our Perfect Diamond Shields, because we're about to fight Mephisto. We go into Tristram, and also going to rebuff everything. And I'm going to go proc Fade. It's important that once we get our Fade proc, we remember to put Smoke on, because we need to make sure that all of our resistances are above 300%, and that our Lightning resist is above 310. Alright, it procced. Put on Smoke. See our resistances. They're all looking good. And make sure... Alright, I guess we're ready. So, the big thing for me with Mephisto is I don't want to get trapped around a bunch of his minions. And we can solo pull him by standing about right here. A little more. Right? That's okay, that's okay, Scott. I'm gonna pull away a little bit here, because like I said, I really don't like getting trapped around all of his minions. It's kind of awkward here, actually. I'm going to pull him back over to the other side. Having like Ravenfrost or something makes this go so much easier. But of course, we don't have Ravenfrost, so the real pain is we get slowed, and then we're getting pretty bad Life Leech. It's hard to cast with all the stuff on us with the slow. I think we got him here. We'll see. Let's see how long I can tank it. It's like I don't know. My open wounds isn't proccing as much as I'd like right here. And it really makes it tricky. Nice, I got a recast. Sometimes it's hard, right? Whether you're just getting interrupted or whatever's happening, but it worked out pretty well. So, Mephisto's down. We don't need the smoke on anymore. I'm just going to try and get all this crap away from me. Alright. Stock on our potions, and I'm going to put on Treachery. I'm going to put on 2 Rhymes for when we fight Baal. Use the same thing against Diablo. And we can actually separate Baal and Diablo. The way we'll do that is you can get Baal to teleport to us. Kind of weird sometimes. Sometimes their positioning is a little different sometimes. It's usually Baal's more to the right. Really. Just because I'm recording a video. It's the only reason he's not coming. Crazy. And his clone's there. There we go. Finally. That's the real Baal. Love it if you'd come a little more. Alright, that works. Keep in mind, when I get real low mana, I'm just going to swap to Meditation. Just to get enough mana to be able to swap back to Fanaticism, because these ghosts, they just destroy your mana. It makes it really difficult to do anything. And I need to get my, I think I got it back up on him. The curse. Where is he? No, I didn't. I swear Bill's trolling me. Alright, well my BO wore off, so it wouldn't happen if an actual barbarian was doing it, because the synergies make it last a lot longer. Okay. Oh, that felt miserable. Right, now we got Baal dead, and the last part is just Diablo. I'm gonna restock on my potions. The annoying part about Diablo is he'll just summon so many of those Venom Lords or whatever they're called, and it's just kind of hard to deal with them, just because you get surrounded. But other than that, Diablo is a lot easier, I think, than Baal and Mephisto. So hopefully, it won't be too big of a deal. Just to make sure this all goes smoothly, I'm just gonna grab extra potions. Also, it's important that you pull Diablo away from like all this other crap that we have spawned. I don't want to be getting mana burned by those ghosts the whole time that I'm fighting them. Alright. I guess I missed my first light tap. I thought it landed on him, but he didn't have the debuff. Right. That's it. Sometimes these guys will be kind of annoying. Just kind of trying to block you from getting the torch. Alright. We got it. And I don't know why I just tried to portal. You can't portal here. See what it is. Not that it matters. I don't play single player. But video.
Good
And identify it. Oh, go figure. On single player, I get the good torches. Yeah, that's the video. If you got any other tips feel free to post them in the comments. Appreciate it. And that's my Uber Tristram guide.